Welcome to the FL Studio 21 Complete Beginner's Guide. I'm Dewitty, and today I'm going to show you the ins and outs of this software, simplifying music production so you can create the music that you've always wanted to create. This is from the beginner's perspective, but even if you think you've mastered your DAW, there might be some basics or neat tricks that you can learn from watching this video. So stick till the end. I've worked as an audio engineer, mastering engineer, and also a live event engineer. And I've used multiple DAWs, including FL Studio, Ableton, Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic, and FL Studio is absolutely by far my favorite. But as I always say, the best DAW is the one that you know inside and out. So let's solve that problem for you today. So first, at the top, we have the File, Edit, Add, Patterns, View, Options, Tools, and Help. So in the File menu, this is where we're going to open new projects. So you can open from a template here. You can also just open a project file. As you can see, it'll be great to go ahead and learn those shortcuts from the very get-go. There's Control O, save as. Of course, you always want to be saving your projects. You can save a new version. So let's say you want to keep this project file, but you want to start a new one. If you start with a piano every single time, you can just create your own template and start from that every single time. Here you have export. So this is how you're going to bounce your project files into a WAV or MP3. Essentially, a WAV file is higher quality, whereas an MP3 is more compressed but takes less space. And as you can see here, we have our recent projects. Here's one way to add different plugins. Options, this is where all your main settings are. So here you have audio settings. So this is where you choose your input and output, sample rate, buffer length. So basically buffer length, if you're mixing, you want a higher buffer length. And if you're recording, you want a lower buffer length. That's going to limit latency. Here we have MIDI. If you want to add a MIDI controller, this is where you'll do it. Theme, this is how you're going to customize your projects. Again, I've seen so many people just keep this gray default, nasty looking instead, but you can literally just customize it. So here you can, as you see, I made my own as well. But you can use even things like this, and there's different presets here as well. So go ahead and customize exactly how you want. So here you see you could change the saturation. You can change every single color, and that's just going to help with your creativity a lot. Here's where we're going to add info. So when you're exporting a track, you'll be able to see the title and the author and any comments in the metadata of the exported track. Here we have our master volume and our master pitch, but we're going to mostly leave those alone. This is where we have our pattern or song selector. So if you want to play the song, just hit spacebar and you'll be playing the song. But if you want to play the pattern, essentially, as you can see, how you make different things, how you actually add to the project is you make different patterns. So if you just want to play the pattern, then you can select it here. Then we have our record button. Here's going to be the tempo. This is going to be the metronome. So if you want to hit play and just hear the metronome, you can click here. We have where you can start once you hit an input. So if you want to record, but you don't want to have to hit the space bar and then quickly play, you can go ahead and hit this. This right here is a countdown before recording. So it'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever you customize. Then you have overdubbing. You have loop recording. And then this tool is where you can actually play your keyboard like it's a piano. And those are going to be the main ones you're going to use. Next, we'll go over the main sections of FL Studio. So as you see here, this is called the playlist. This is where you're going, this is the main meat of your song where you're going to arrange everything. So you'll have different patterns and you'll be able to essentially arrange your track. This is actually where we put the note. If instead of recording, you can go ahead and just use your virtual instruments here. Next, we have the channel rack. This is going to be the main place you add instruments. So as you can see here, we have all these different plugins. We can add external plugins right here. And then back in the piano roll, all you have to do is select that instrument and then you're ready to play and add notes. And finally you have your mixer. So this is where you're going to do all your mixing. You have volume here, panning right here. You can hit record to arm that track to record here. And you can expand here. So again, using the channel rack, there are two ways. So here you see if you want to just create drums, you can actually just add different patterns. And a quick shortcut is to fill each 4 steps. And we can create an entire drum pattern here. So organizing the project is another key important thing. So here, if you right click you can rename and color. So let's just name this piano. You can also name your pattern. And you can also name your mixer track. Then if you look here, you can manually add your key zone classic to the track you want. Another way, a quick shortcut to do that is, let's say we want to add all of these to track 1. All we have to do is select them using that. Select here and hit Control L. Then if you look here, now they're all in track 1. Or if you want to do it separately, you want the kick in 2, that's all you got to do. Control L. And now you have a kick. Same thing here, hi-hat. Control L, etc. Now once you want to add effects, let's go over to piano. And each slot, you can add your different effects. So let's say we want reverb or EQ, we can add it there. And essentially how it works, this is the order that they're going to be affected. So first you have the input of the piano, then it's going to be affected by EQ, then you want reverb after that, and you can add up to 10 in this one slot. Now another trick, let's say we want all of these to have the same effects, we can actually route these. Instead of here you see these are each individual tracks, but we have a master track. So instead of routing them to the master track, we can route them to a different one. And we can route multiple tracks to the same track. That's called a bus. And that one is still routed to the master. So when you play any of these 3 tracks, it's going to go through here. So then we can add effect here. And it's going to affect all 3 of those. And finally, once you're ready to export, all you have to do is hit File, Export. Again, you can use a WAV file that is going to be high quality, but of course take up more space. Or if you need an MP3, which is usually for things like SoundCloud, etc., you might need an MP3 instead. And you can name your track, and you're good. If you like this video, make sure you watch this video next, and I'll see you there.